GGRC.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of GGRC. Me, checking in with you. That's right. This is a show where we basically go through really quick some of the things I've done over the past month on the channel and some of the things that'll be coming up on the channel this month. I'm RC, and this over here, well, Sushi's missing, but I swear he's actually laying right over here. He might come join us at some point while I'm talking. But regardless, I don't have time to actually edit this tonight, guys. So what we're going to do is I actually have a list here of all the things we covered the past month, and we're going to go through them really quick. So from most recent to back, we actually just played through part of a game called Flipping Death on the Switch. Now, this is a really cool game. It's sort of a 2D platforming point-and-click adventure type game. Lots of fun. Check out my checking out video if you haven't seen it already. Might be down some of your alleys here. Very unique art style as well. Another game that we checked out was Frostpunk. Now, Frostpunk is sort of a isometric, like, you know, over-the-top view of a city that you're trying to keep alive in the middle of like a nuclear winter situation. There's a lot of strings that need to be pulled, a lot of red tape that needs to go through, a lot of laws that need to be written in, and of course you need to keep everybody alive while you're doing all this stuff. So it's a very complicated game, lots going on, and I'm actually really into it. So definitely check out my video for that one as well if you haven't seen it. Another one that came out recently, Flat Heroes. Now this is sort of a very abstract and minimalist platforming game. You play as a square, and for those of you who played a game called Thomas is Alone, or Thomas Was Alone, something like that, I forget the exact name of it. That was a great little adventure game, but this is a lot different, where this is all about action. It's all about sort of dodging and attacking at the right time as this little block, and you play in a little square. You jump around, and you could wall jump, and you're basically trying to avoid projectiles and everything. It's almost sort of like a box bullet hell shooter in a way. Like, you can't shoot back, but you need to dodge the bullet hell that's coming at you. It's actually really fast, frantic, and easy to retry level type of game. I actually was having quite a bit of fun with it when I was doing the video for it, so I definitely recommend checking that one out as well. We checked out Super Destronaut DX on the Switch. This is sort of a Space Invaders ripoff. I was having fun with it because they actually have a, I forget the name of the mode. It's not really a campaign, but it's sort of like each part of the mode is a mission. I think there's about 40 or 50 missions in the game total, but they give you a certain objective you need to hit, which is like score this much or destroy this many types of this color enemy or whatever. And I was having a ton of fun with that part of the game because 40 of these different missions to go through, and it was just a ton of fun for me to like try to hit that every time. And you know, sometimes you wouldn't hit it and you're like, oh, you're that close, so it makes you want to keep going. It has that, you know, one more level type of thing going on for it. So I was really having fun with that. Another game that we checked out was Mothergunship. Now, Mothergunship is a first-person shooter where you play as I don't know if you're a robot or a guy in a sort of like robot costume, like a mech situation or what, but basically the whole thing is it's a first-person shooter. It's procedurally generated, you know, it's random or whatever, and what's really cool about it is that each hand houses guns that you can build, and, you know, you could put, I don't know, as many guns as you want on each side. You know, let's say you put one gun here, but as you go through the level, you can keep building up guns on your arms here. So you might end up having 10 on this one and 10 on this one, and you're just, you know, dumping on people, tons of bullets and everything. So actually I was having a lot of fun with that game. So nothing we checked out this month has been really bad at all. Like, everything so far has been a lot of fun. Some of the other stuff we did too, actually this is worth mentioning, is the GameCube plug-and-play adapter. I finally did the review for that. I said I was going to do it, and we did it. It's like a 20-minute review. Check it out if you're a GameCube fan, you're interested in an HDMI adapter for your GameCube. I'm not sure if this is the one for you, so definitely check out the review on that. I show a lot of different games with the HDMI output and everything, just to show you what the games look like. Some of them look amazing. Some of them look like they could have been games released today, and that's how good the GameCube makes these games look. So go check out that review if that's something that interests you. On the Quake side of things, before we go any further, go to QuakeAwards.com, guys, because in 2017, a lot of Quake maps were released And the Quake Awards here are actually giving awards to some of the best maps of last year. I happen to be one of the judges that was involved with it, and I had a lot of fun helping everybody figure out what maps we liked most. And of course, there's honorable mentions, and it showcases some other new mappers that released their first map in 2017. So there's a lot of great stuff over on QuakeAwards.com. Definitely go check it out. On top of that, with Quake, for Quake 1, we actually played through the 100 brush competition that came out recently the past couple months. Amazingly impressive how many good maps came out of that were only supposed to be 100 brushes. I was blown away by that. So many good maps in that one. A few questionable, which is great because I love the fact that people are expressing themselves the way they want to, and they're actually going out of their ways to try something different and new that hasn't been done from other maps. So you get a very good range of maps from, like, you know, maps that you're not quite sure what the hell is going on in them, and other maps that are just like, really, really good. We also played through Grendel's Blade, which is Sock's most recent release for Quake. Everybody knows Sock is the one of the main developers for Arcane Dimensions, if not the main developer for it. And during that episode, while in addition to playing through Sock's map, we also played through another pile of Arcane Dimensions maps that I did not get through over the past couple years. So definitely check out that episode if you haven't seen it, because there are a lot of great maps in that one too. Last but not least, recently we played Quake Champions because the guys at id decided to put the Death Knight in from Quake 1 as a new playable character in the arena in Quake Champions, which I really adore this new character. It's sort of reimagined. He looks really, really cool. He's got the same, spiky Viking type helmet that he wears and everything, but he looks completely different from how he looked in the, well, I shouldn't say completely. He just is reimagined, where he may have had like a full face in the first game. They gave him more of a skeletal look in this, so much so that people were comparing him to a skeleton in Skyrim or the Elder Scrolls games or whatever, they're basically saying like, oh, this guy must have come from a Bethesda game, but no, it turns out, must have been an amalgamation of like, the Death Knight from Quake 1 and then, grabbing the style of Elder Scrolls there. So that about does it for Quake there. Another series that I've started the past couple months is called What Is This? And it's something where I find something that may or may not be important in games, and I just do a video on like, what is this? It's usually going to be something weird. So if you guys find anything on the net that's involved with video games that seems kind of strange and you think it's worthy of this show, this new show that I'm doing, please let me know. I'd love to do continue the series, because it's a lot of fun for me to just kind of like rant for 10 minutes or so about how weird whatever something is. I definitely recommend the first episode where I'm cutting the tag off of one of my creatures back here. You're gonna have to go check that out to find it out. And one of the recent ones also, it was a Japanese dating game that's on the Switch, and I was really, really surprised to see that existed on the Switch. So definitely go check that out too, because it's pretty interesting. All right, so that covers pretty much everything that happened this past month. It's been a very busy month, lots of videos and everything. But coming up, I have a few games that you guys are probably going to be interested in. Namely, of course, I know everybody likes to see me play through Quake, so we will be playing through Quake. Don't worry about that. I think we're going to be playing through the speed map packs that have come out recently. We'll be checking that out. Of course, if you guys have any requests on things you want me to play through, definitely shout that out to me in the comments down below. One of the other things I want to mention too before we go further, right below me here, you could see steamcommunity.com/groups/watchggrc. I'm trying to get the Steam groups or our Steam group off the ground here. So far, we're in the double digits for members, which is great, but I'd love to get that number up. Please join in so that way you can find other like-minded people you might want to play Quake Champions with, or maybe some other multiplayer games, or if you just want to hang out and chat. That's the place to do it right there for sure. Regardless, though, besides Quake, besides Steam groups, the other things that are coming up is we are going to be playing through a bit of We Happy Few. Now, you may have seen a teaser trailer for this game. It always looked really, really interesting, but it was in early access for a couple years now. What's really interesting about it, I believe it was a couple years, maybe it's been a year, I don't know, I'm losing track of time from when I first saw it. But when I first saw it, I was blown away. I was like, wow, this game looks great. It kind of looks like, sort of a Clockwork Orange meets BioShock type of situation, right? And to me, that looked really, really intriguing. However, what ended up coming out of it with the early access version of the game was more of a survival game that was really, really janky. And it was really strange because they had the first part of the game, the first level of the game, that felt like what they showed in the trailer, and then you get out into the world and it's nothing like that. So it looks as though they may have remedied a lot of that. So we are going to be checking out that game pretty soon here, actually, possibly this week, because it comes out this week. We also have a couple of other smaller games that are pretty interesting. One is called The Moose Man. It's true. It's called The Moose Man. It's a game where you play as a guy called the Moose Man, and he has the power to sort of like, I don't know if he disguises himself or he calls upon the powers of the spirit of a moose or whatever, but he can see things that are otherworldly. You know, he can see things others can't. And I've already played a little bit of it. I'm going to have a checking out video for it very shortly here. But you basically play as this moose guy, and as you're walking along, it's a 2D scrolling adventure. As you're walking along, you basically toggle between being human and inhabiting the spirit of the moose or whatever. So as you're walking, you can see things appear on screen that you wouldn't normally see before. So you have to avoid obstacles and everything that way. It's very interesting, and it also is exploring sort of the culture of I don't know the background or the heritage or the ethnicity of where this is coming from. I'll definitely talk about that more in the checking out video. But I definitely think it's really interesting what I played of it so far. The other game that we're going to talk about here is To Hell with Hell. Now, this is sort of a procedurally generated, I guess you could call it like an isometric top-down action shooter thing. You're basically looking at your character, over the top or whatever. And what you're doing is you're using the mouse keyboard, and you use the mouse to aim around as your keyboard runs, or as your character runs around. You use the keyboard to move around, and the mouse to aim. It's kind of an interesting, like you could say, dual joystick shooter situation where you move the character with one and aim with the other, but it's all over the top. So it's a 2D isometric type thing. But you are basically in hell. You're trying to get through hell and destroy all these monsters and destroy these bosses and everything. It's a pretty interesting game, so we will be covering that soon as well. But regardless, guys, there you go. I tried to get this in a really, really quick fashion here. Like I said, no time to edit, so I just wanted to talk to you all. Again, feel free to subscribe here on YouTube and like this video. And of course, don't forget to check out my Steam group, as I've already stated. Like I said, we're in the double digits, but let's get that number up so that way we can all hang out on Steam, play some more games, and play. We're gonna do another Quake Champions stream as well. Where we're trying to play together. So I'd like to get some fresh people in there to play with me on stream, which I think would be a lot of fun. But there you go, everybody. That is the checking in video for August 2018. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time on GGRC. GG, everybody.
GGRC.